All right, so today we are going to be talking about a little bit of a review from middle school. So, how to create the following things here. So, we have this is called a dot plot. And so it just has a bunch of dots. That is why it's called a dot plot. And then over here you have your box and whisker plot, or you can just call it a box plot. It has your box in here. Okay, and then we have what's called a histogram. A histogram is very similar to a bar graph, but a histogram, the bars must be touching. Okay, and at the bottom, you have like a range of numbers. So, like 13 and 14 would be included in this bar. And so, in a bar graph, they would be individual. In a histogram, it combines multiple things together. So, let's take a look at your notes. All right, so the first thing we're going to go through how to do one of each of these. The first one says to create a histogram for this data. Okay, so I have all of this data. My histogram is set up down here at the bottom with these intervals. Okay, so these are called intervals. So what I've got to do is look at my data and figure out, are there any numbers in between 1 and 20? So when I'm looking up here, okay, there are 0 numbers between 1 and 20. So I do nothing here. Now I go 21 to 40, and I'm going to mark them out as I go. So anything between 21 and 40. So 32. So that's 1. 39, 31, 33. Okay, and that is it. So I have 4 of those. So what I will do is I will draw my bar all the way up to 4. 4 represents the frequency here. That is just how many times it occurs. So the numbers over here are frequencies. And so that's just how many times it happens. So this first bar, there are 4 values in between 21 and 40. Okay. The next one's 41 to 60. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So I have 6 of those. So I'm going to draw this bar. They are going to be touching. And I'm going to draw this bar all the way up to 6. Okay. All right. Let's go to green. So now we're looking at 61 to 80. So that is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So that's 7 values. So I'm going to draw those up all the way to 7. Okay, and then my final values, I have 100, 99, 96, 100. Those all fall in this range. That is 4 of them. So I will stop that bar right there. Okay, and this is what your histogram looks like. Okay, so you have a histogram with the bars. The intervals are all evenly spaced out. Okay. If you need to pause at any time, just pause the video so that you can catch up with what you're working on. All right, so the next thing we're going to do is create a dot plot. So this says the following data shows the amount of chocolate Miss Latimer ate over the last 30 days. Create a dot plot to show how much chocolate she ate. Okay, so remember from the previous screen, the dot plots are just dots above each of your values. So when you set this number line up, you need a dot for every number. Okay, so we just need to figure out what our lowest number is. And in here, our lowest number is 1. So I'm going to start with 1 here. And then I think, the highest number is 12. So I'm going to go all the way to 12. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And so you're just counting. You're putting however many dots each value occurs. Okay, so I'm just going to start with 1, and I'm just going to go through my list and cross them out. So I have a 1 here, and I have a 1 here, so I have 2 1s. So I'm going to put 2 dots on top of one another for the 1s. Okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 2s. So I'm going to put 5 dots. All right, then 1, 2, 3, 4 3s. And I like to cross them out as I go because if I do forget a number, I can go back and add that dot. All right, 4, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 5, 1, 2, 3. 6, 1. There's only 1 6. And 7. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 8. There is 1. Only 1 8. 9, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 9s, and then there's an 11 and a 12 left. So no 10s here. And that would represent my dot plot. Okay. All right, so let's flip over to the back and let's look at box plots now. So one thing you need to remember about a box plot is it will look something like this. You will have these things here. Okay, but each of these things represents a value. So this dot here on this end, that is our minimum value, our lowest value. Okay, this line on the box here will be quartile 1. The middle will be the median. This line will be quartile 3. And this dot down here at the end will be the max. So we call this a 5 summary statistics because those 5 numbers tell you exactly the numbers for your box plots. Okay, so we're going to look at these 2 different prices for snowboards, and we are going to go through and create a double box plot. And so all that means is you're going to have 2 box plots, but one is going to be on top of the other. Okay, so the first thing I need to do is figure out the 5 summary statistics here for each of these. Remember, when you're doing median and the quartiles, they need to be in order. So our data is already in order, so I'm just going to work this one out by hand. So my minimum value here is 345, and my maximum value is 405. Okay, then my median. So my median is going to be right here in the middle, so exactly between 356 and 360. So you are just going to take those 2 values, add them, and divide by 2. You will get 358. Okay. And then Q1 and Q3. Remember, Q1 is the median of the lower half. So Q1, the median of the lower half. So here would be where my data would be split. This would be my Q1. So 350. And then Q3 is your median of the upper half. Okay, so 375 would be that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and draw that box plot for this one. Okay, so I'm going to draw a number line. Oh, it's there. I just need to scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so my number line is there. All right, so my first dot is going to be at 345, so that's right in between these values. 350 is going to be the first line of my box. 358, which will be about right here, will be the next line on my box. And 375 will be the third line of my box. And so once you get those three, you can connect them. And then my last dot will be 405. So down here then. And then you can draw what we refer to as the whiskers. Okay, and so this is Middletown. Okay, so remember this is minimum, Q1, median, Q3 right here, and maximum over there. All right, so I'm gonna come back up. Let's go ahead and go through Snowboard Central. Okay, so here we are. 343 is my minimum, 402 is my maximum. My median is right here in the middle of 386 and 392. So 386 and 392 divided by 2, that's 389. Okay. And then I have Q1, so if that's my middle, this will be Q1, and this will be Q3. So 370 and 395. Okay. So 343 will be my first dot because that is my lowest. 370 is going to start my box. 389 is going to be my median. 395 will end my box. And 402, about right there, will be my maximum value. And so this one is Snowboard Central. Okay. All right, so that is how you will draw each of these. So we went through, this is our box plot. We went through histogram and a dot